Welcome back. I was just touching up my pages about John Locke just to make it look a little bit more polished and finished off. So today we are actually going to start on the next section, which is about contrasting the governments of Athens, of ancient Athens, and the Roman Republic. So if you remember in our book, we marked off the next 2 pages for those. And here's my beginning work on that. So the first thing we want to do is let the reader know that the founders used ideas from both ancient Greece and Rome. So you need one sentence that says something like that. I wrote, the founders also used some ideas from the ancient Greeks and Romans. So you can write your sentence like that. Could be, the founders also took inspiration from the governments of ancient Greece and Rome. It could be, the founders were influenced by the governments of ancient Greece and Rome. Whatever you like, something that conveys that kind of information. Again, I wrote, the founders also used some ideas from the ancient Greeks and Romans. And then I divided what we had left into describing things from Athens, which is a main city in Greece, and the Roman Republic. And these are just bullet points, okay? So if you go back to this, you can kind of scan the sections and look for Athens. It's in bold. So here it says, here's what the founders learned from the Greeks and Romans. They studied the government of Athens, one of the main cities in Greece. Athens had a direct democracy. This meant that every citizen of Athens made the laws and elected their leaders. Remember, though, Athens was just one city, not a whole country. Also, citizens did not include everyone. Slaves and poor workers were not considered citizens and could not vote. So those are the pieces of information we want to make into bullet points on this side. So I put a title, I wrote Athens, and then in parentheses I wrote Greece. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 bullet points here. The first one is that it's a direct democracy. And we're going to get even more detail about what a direct democracy is later in the book. Okay, but right now I put direct democracy. All citizens had a say in making laws and choosing leaders. So that's what direct democracy means. All citizens had a say in making laws and choosing leaders. And then the other thing that I felt was really important was to point out that slaves and poor workers or poor laborers were not citizens. So it's not that all people have a say in making the laws and choosing their leaders, all citizens, but then they can decide who's a citizen and who isn't. Slaves and poor laborers were not citizens. And my final bullet point was, I think it was important to point out that Athens was a city, not a whole country. And the reason that's important is it's a little bit like what I said the other day about trying to decide the rules of Foursquare with just you and your friend versus trying to decide the rules of Foursquare with the entire student population of West Woodland, right? Governing just you and your friends' behavior is one thing. The whole school is something else. So let me just show you once again. Here's what I wrote about Athens, Greece. See, those 3 bullet points, those are the 3 really important things you want to include. Okay, then the other side of the page, I made bullet points for the Roman Republic. So you want to start with your heading, Roman Republic. And again, you can use your summary page to make sure you get that spelling right and that you capitalize it. And if you scan, you can see I bolded Roman Republic. So let's go right to that section and reread it. The founders also studied the Roman Republic. Rome was a large republic with hundreds of towns and cities. So they had a much larger area and many more people to govern. Rome had two groups that made the laws. They were the Senate, who were chosen by the oldest and most wealthy families of Rome, and the Assembly, who were chosen by wealthy middle-class Roman citizens. Each year, these groups chose consuls, who carried out the laws. Again, there were many people who were not considered citizens, slaves and poor people mostly. So let's take that information and break it down into the key facts. So the first thing I thought was important to include was that the Roman Republic had hundreds of towns and cities. And that's in contrast to Athens, which was just one city. Hundreds of towns and cities. And then the next bullet point, remember you can pause this video whenever you need to, but the next bullet point is representatives made laws and governed. Okay? Representatives made laws and governed. Instead of every person having a say, the people had representatives who would then go and make the laws for them. Okay, the representatives, called the Senate and the Assembly, were chosen by wealthy, powerful people. So they had representatives, but who chose them? Old wealthy families, wealthy, influential middle-class families. So it wasn't everybody. So representatives, called the Senate and the Assembly, were chosen by wealthy, powerful people. And then, what do you think the next thing we need to include is? We talked about the Senate and the Assembly, the consuls. So the consuls were chosen by the Senate and the Assembly, and they carried out the laws. So if you notice what's missing in here, even though it's a representative republic, poor people, people who don't have a lot of influence, they don't really have any say in any of this. All right, and finally, the last thing I included is, just like Athens, slaves and poor workers were not citizens. Okay? So here's what your Roman side should look like. And again, feel free to add cool bullet points, some kind of decoration, maybe underline your headings, things like that. Make it cool and easy to read. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for our next section. Bye.